Hello, my podcast people, and thank you for joining me. And Rupi, if you're watching this, you can see this is his favorite spot. He sits on the chair, like literally sits on the top of the chair behind me. So if you are tuning in, watching, hopefully you're watching, listening on the day that it drops, it is Monday, May 25th. Welcome to the last full week of May. Damn. This month has absolutely flown by far of all the months this year, gone by the fastest. And I got some traveling coming up. Lex and I got traveling coming up in June, which means that month will also go by fast. So hopefully you are enjoying your May. You enjoyed your May. Northern Hemisphere peeps, our time to shine. Summer is coming up. Giddy up. Although, let's be real, I live in Southern California. It's always summertime. But I'm wishing sunny days and amazing weather for everyone except for Trump and his whole fucking administration. Fuck Trump. Now, always, and forever. But speaking of things that are whack and largely a lie, let's get into the main topic for today's episode, which is the dead internet theory. So if you're not familiar, I love it, the Rupert's here. If you're not familiar with it, the dead internet theory, it's not new. The origins of like having that's like the coherent name and like putting it all together of dead internet theory, that dates back to 2021. And a small forum called Agora Rhodes Macintosh Cafe. Rupert has left. And a user by the name of Illuminati Pirate. And a thread titled Dead Internet Theory. Most of the internet is fake. So anonymous, forum born, no single like definitive creator. This character, Illuminati Pirate. Hopefully, can you hear those sirens? Maybe. We got so many sirens going on. That person, Illuminati Pirate, is like the closest thing to a quote unquote author. But that person was largely synthesizing ideas that were already floating around on some of the message boards and such. But the theory is that the internet, quote unquote, died around 2016, 2017. So what we are scrolling through now and seeing is mostly bots. It is AI generated content and it is algorithmically curated material, right? There's likely not nearly as much human interaction on there as we would think, right? The internet that we knew, the early 2000s internet, has been replaced by this, synthetic feed that's designed to keep you on it. It's designed to keep you scrolling, designed to keep you engaged. And depending on how far you take the theory, it's designed to manipulate your opinions and behaviors. I 100% buy this. And part of the reason I'm bringing this up is I just read an article and it was talking about Justin Bieber, and how his set at Coachella and like the hullabaloo around it. Hullabaloo? I think there's another letter in there. All the stuff around it was fabricated, and how, it's called clipping. This is not a new thing. And just how we know that our attention is being guided and driven in a certain way, and that most things are not as organically popular as the internet would have us believe, right? I buy it 100%. There is another layer of it. It's a bit more, conspiratorial in nature, and it adds that the government and corporations are doing this intentionally and manipulating things, which I also buy, but that's not the point of. I will take my tin hat off for right now. That's what I want to focus on right now. What I want to focus on today is the heart of the theory, which is that most of the shit that is on the internet, in this case, what we're going to talk about today is Instagram, that it's designed solely to keep you scrolling. And the majority of the comments and engagement, the likes and things like that you see are mostly bots, not actual humans. Now, don't get me wrong. There are still a ton of people and dope people using social media. But what I want you to focus on are the actual humans that you interact with on there, right? Stop looking at the vanity metrics. I've always said this, but I'm just like, I'm gonna make another episode because maybe now hopefully you'll do it. Stop looking at the vanity metrics, followers and likes, because they're fake. They're made up. Stop automatically assuming that your content is shit. This is a big one. Not that your content is the shit, that your content is shit, that it's bad, right? The algorithm pushes what will keep people on the platform. And like, admittedly, some people's content is bad. Yes. And if you're just starting, maybe your content's not that good yet. But I watch as people just like rip themselves apart, and they're just like looking at their own character and they're just like, don't want to put anything out because they don't know if it's good. Like, and they're basing it off of what the algorithm pushes. At the end of the day, the algorithm is going to push what keeps people on the platform. And I watch as these creators who have just, I don't say they've just gotten lucky, but a large part of going viral is luck. There's a luck component. There's a timing factor. There's, do you look the part? What are you talking about? When are you talking about it? A lot of things that mean that everyone cannot and will not go viral. And so I see some of these creators go viral, and the advice that they give other people is basically like, your content sucks. Shut up, your content sucks. And it's like, that's aggressive and objectively not always true. All right. So one of the, speaking of followers and influencers, right? One of the things that inspired this episode was that Instagram recently, cleaned out a bunch of accounts, a bunch of bot accounts. I had no idea when they choose to do this, why they choose to do this, how they actually do it, how they choose to do it, anything about it, right? I have no idea about the why, anything behind the scenes. But what happens is that people lose followers, anywhere from like tens to hundreds to like tens of thousands of followers overnight. If people bought followers, they'll lose a lot of followers. So I don't be looking at my metrics like that, but I did lose probably about 400 followers. Now, I have never bought followers ever, but I have always said that the follower count is fake. Instagram inflates the shit out of that number. And I firmly believe that it just gives you fake followers when it wants you to stay on, right? It's like, oh, well, let's give them some house money. Follower count goes up. Like, what does this mean? You got 20,000 followers. You're getting 10,000 followers. Are they real people? No, I do not believe that. There are some of them real? Yes. Are most of them real? No, I do not think so. It'll give you more. It wants you to stay on there. It wants you to stay creating content so people can consume it. It wants you to stay consuming content so it can put ads in front of you, right? It's just, it's house money. It's made up. Instagram giveth, Instagram taketh away. Right? And especially as your account gets bigger, you can't keep track. I don't know if these are real people. You go through and you're like, you can't be checking all of them. So you're just like, whatever. Right? I know for a fact that when I speak out about things politically, and it's always anti-Trump because fuck Trump now, always and forever, my account loses quote unquote followers, but my engagement stays the exact same. Sometimes it goes up. Actually, I get more comments. Right? And I don't think that I'm losing actual people. I think Meta is trying to punish me and get me to not post that kind of content. Right? I also think that if I was to be more angry about it, more polarizing about it, and get people to stay on the platform and it notice how their actions are, it would give me more followers. I think that my followers are, my Insta fam is very educated. I think that we think we all doom scroll, but I think that they're also very good at like, I gotta shut this thing off. I gotta take a break from it. And Instagram doesn't like that. And so it's like, hey, you create content that people who don't consume content, or for people that have boundaries, they consume that kind of content. And so we're going to punish you. Stop creating content for educated and informed and boundaried people. We punish you. We take followers away. Create content that is divisive, that is inflammatory, that keeps people on, that attracts people that are just going to stay on and keep scrolling. Cool, we will give you more followers. I firmly believe that because it's just fucking made up, right? They be punishing me with fake followers. And I've said this since day one, right? Yes, absolutely. I think that a percentage of your followers, my Instagram is real. Absolutely. But as that number grows, as your follower count grows, the percentage of fake followers absolutely grows. Absolutely. Right? Accounts that buy followers and rely heavily on ads for growth, we know a shit ton of those followers are fake. Just go look at the comments, right? They are all bots. And the internet is very dead there. And you can very much see this dead internet theory there. And I have heard firsthand, I went to a conference, I spoke at a conference, and I was like kind of blown away. And I was like, well, good on you for the transparency here. But one of the speakers, one of the male speakers, he spoke about using ads and like this kind of gamification, not even gamification, gaming the system. It's not gamification, gaming the system. And using the fact that there are bots in order to like make the account grow without buying bots. So as I understood it, he would run ads to like places like India where there are a lot of bot accounts and then get like the watch time and the view time and the comment count up. And it was all bots. And that kind of helped with like, how it ranked and like social proof. And then they would run the ad here. And I was like, that is some crazy shit. It's all fake. Wow. Clearly, 100% do not recommend doing this. And I literally have no idea if it works financially, like if you end up with like good quality followers because of this method. I don't know. I would never do it. It sounds crazy to me. But I know that it is the thing. I heard it firsthand, and it further supports my belief in, the dead internet theory. On the other side of this, I have friends with very big online businesses, and some of them spoke at that same conference, and they serve a lot of actual people, right? Because again, yes, there are still absolutely people on the internet. My push with this episode is to have you focus on those actual people, to focus on those genuine interactions and not get caught up in the algorithm, right? Focus on serving the hell out of your current clients, your initial followers. It's a small number. Lean in. Don't be scared of these small numbers. You got one person to buy. Fucking amazing. Over deliver the shit out of that. Right? I want you to figure out how to stay in the Instagram game long enough to give yourself a chance at quote unquote winning, right? When I say winning, I mean, your posts get in front of more people, actual people who want to buy your stuff. All right. I'm currently doing all of this messaging work. If you want help with messaging, check out the offers. I'm loving it. It's going incredibly well. I'm actually going to revamp some of the offers, but I'm loving it. And as much as we all hate Instagram, there is still so much value to it because of the amount of trust that it can build. There's so many touch points in so many different ways. I can see your face. I can hear your voice. I can see your life. I can learn and feel your values. Right? I can really get a feel for you and see, is there this congruence, or is it there, things are incongruent and you say this thing, but then you act this way, and you just get a feel for people, right? Yeah, people can fake it, but still. Right. And it's tough to get that many touch points, that much repetition, and that variety of trust building actions anywhere else. Right? Again, I'm doing all this messaging with people. A lot of it is focusing on their websites, and I will argue that the most important part of copy is who is saying it. Right? It's not what's being said, so who's saying the thing. Think of any quote. Just think of any words ever. Just think of one word, right? Think about Rihanna saying it. Cool. Or maybe at worst, you're indifferent. Think about fucking Trump saying it. Immediately, no. Throw the whole word in the trash. I don't even want to hear it anymore, right? Because we know the values and such that come along with that word that's being said, right? Because the person who's saying it gives us context. Right? Instagram can do that for us, which is why I continue to use it, even though it can be the worst, because it can also be the best. Right? So if you are using it, keep your eyes on your own paper and really dive into the genuine and actual interactions. Right? Get into your stories. Instagram's pushing them like crazy anyway. I've been saying this for a million fucking years, right? Stories. Show me your DMs and I will show you and tell you how your business is doing. Where do the DMs come from? Stories. That's how people are DMing you. They're going to watch your stories and they're going to respond to one of the stories and you get DMs. I've said it. You want more engagement? Do more stories, not more posts. Instagram is actually making it incredibly difficult to make posts. I was just trying to make a post the other day for my sister for her birthday, and I was like, how the fuck do I have to go to the one screen and the thing in the top corner. Before there was like a million different ways to make a post. And I'm like, they just want you to consume. All right. As it relates to the posts, right? I said make stories. When in doubt, make stories. But as it relates to the actual content and making posts, right? My vote, I can't speak. My vote is always to just make it, make content that keeps you playing the game. Make the content that you enjoy making. The flip side of that is that the content you enjoy making may not be what Instagram is pushing, right? And so if you need that external validation, or if you're really affected by metrics, or if you're new to the Instagram game or the online business game and you're trying to grow, yes, the reality is that the content that is being pushed, like social media, is interest media now. Right? The algorithm is so fucking sensitive, and it is showing you what you're interested in. You pause on a video for like a fraction of a second longer than the other one, and it's like, okay, a million more of those, because it assumes you find it interesting and it ties it into this and this and this. So it is a slippery slope when we talk about making content that's interesting and content that is entertaining with no substance, especially. Right? That is really tough to create that kind of content and attract an intelligent audience that's actually going to give you their hard-earned dollars, right? So this is a reminder that entertainment, and ultimately people are they're on Instagram to be entertained, inspired, and educated, right? In that order. But entertainment takes many forms. And traditional entertainment, we think in adventure, comedy, emotion, inspiration, surprise. Your ability to teach something that you're passionate about succinctly, that's entertaining. Your ability to teach something with humor, if you're funny, if you're not funny, oh well, it's fine. That's entertaining. Your ability to teach through storytelling, entertaining. Maybe you're just teaching and you're showing your regular life. That's entertaining to people because they haven't seen your life. They don't know your life. All right. There are a bunch of different ways to go about this, but that's honestly, it's not even the point of this episode. I just want to give you some action items because I hate like putting out problems, saying problems and no solutions, no action items, right? The point of this episode, and my point here, is that yes, so much of the internet is made just for the algorithm. It's made by AI at this point. And a lot of the interaction that you see on social media is AI, it is bots. But there are absolutely still people on it and using it and wanting connection, right? And using social media to inform their purchases. Right? Do they trust the brand? I know I go on there and see, like, what is this thing about? So lean into the genuine, authentic, actual interactions that you are having, right? And lean into starting small. Double down on the actual people. I've said this from day one. Over deliver, love on your early adopters. They will spread your message farther and faster than you ever could. All right, let's wrap it up. The dead internet theory, it is true, in my humble opinion. But there are still legit dope humans on there. So curate your experience. Create the content that you want to consume and double down on the actual humans that are interacting with you. All right. That's it. As always, endlessly, one more time. Let's do one more time. Endlessly appreciative for every single one of you. Until next time, friends, Maestro out.